Yeah.
I did.
Hey, welcome to the Spark of Madness podcast. I'm Matt. That's Ben.
I hit the button.
There's Ben. And there's Aaron over there. Hey. Week 2, November. Guys.
Would you turn that
Hey,
stream off?
sorry. Whoa. So, hey,
like,
hey. Whoa.
Hey,
For a second there, I was about to apologize, but no, it was in fact your fault.
It was my fault.
Matt's that guy that goes to the movie and doesn't turn his phone off, takes notes, turn the light on his phone so he can see what notes he's taking.
I do that.
You do that?
Yeah, and I like to have.
Hey, it's a text from my mom.
I like to have a little music going.
And he has a baby and a baby carriage.
If I don't know that.
This movie sucks.
If I don't know the answer to a question in the middle of the movie, I don't look it up on my phone. I actually call somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the quickest way.
Does he die? Oh, I'm afraid he's gonna. Why did he grab that pencil?
Grab that pencil.
I don't know. Just the whole writing down theme.
Matt is the middle-aged mom in the movie.
Yeah, Mr. Mom.
Why is he doing that?
Did you watch your hands when you went to the bathroom?
This movie's unbelievable.
I will say,
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Inconceivable.
my brother's this way. A lot of people are, where they have to have popcorn 100% of the
My dad,
time.
yeah.
They go to a movie. It's so loud, or and it's not just the mouth sounds, it's the like digging through the bag of popcorn.
You get some of this too.
That leads us into our movie. I didn't think you'd be able to
Ben,
bring it home, but
you're
you
welcome.
brought it home and
I
locked
brought
it in the closet.
I did it, yeah.
You're a unique individual, Ben.
Where's your other hand, Matt?
What?
Where's your other hand?
Between two pillows.
Those aren't
hand-
pillows.
Hey.
Doing a mess around.
You should have gave that
Catch
one
that
to
bear
me.
skin.
My hands are obscured.
Yeah.
Good team this year.
All right.
Come again.
Here we go. So we're gonna do planes, trains, and automobiles. I think a week early, I suppose. This is one of the few.
You should always do Thanksgiving a week early.
We have
Beat the
4
crowd.
days to get to Chicago.
And you know it's not going to be easy.
No.
They make this movie is so unbelievable to me. I'm jumping ahead, but near the end of the movie where they're on the road and the sign says 106 miles to Chicago, and then it still takes them like 2 days to get there.
Yeah, it does take them a long time.
Was
Well, at that
traveling
time,
this hard in 1987?
Well, it was they're just driving cars for a lot of
100
it.
miles is 3
Yeah.
hours tops.
You
Yeah.
guys weren't born yet, were you?
I was about to be born.
No, I wasn't.
I was 3 years old. I remember when this movie came out, you see, when I was three.
It was impossible to get to the movie theater, as you can
And
tell.
you see, there was
because-
this big snowstorm of 87, see? And then I went to the theater, and then my mom started cradling me in my No, I didn't see this movie in 1987. I didn't know where to go with that. Okay.
That's fine.
And
All right.
when the spot's
I
on
was
you,
born
the spot
a
hits
mere
you.
months after this movie.
mere months. Same
You were
here.
conceived during this movie, weren't you?
No, a bit before actually, if I know my human biology.
Oh, so you were conceived during.
Are you going
Dirty
somewhere with
Dancing.
this?
Your gestation is so much faster.
Was
than
Kevin
others.
Bacon in Dirty Dancing? Or was that somebody else?
No,
I'm
Dirty
thinking of
Dancing
Footloose.
that's Footloose.
I get those mixed up all the time. But Kevin Bacon's in this movie.
Yeah,
does make an appearance
for a weird
for
cameo.
A quick little pop in for the showdown to get a taxi.
You know, this was the movie that got him his job for Tremors.
Yep. You see that he actually did do a good job. I thought he did. I thought he was good.
What else is Kevin Bacon in?
Everything.
I don't know.
Casserole.
He's in
Eggs Benedict.
he's in Hollow Man.
That's a creepy movie.
Yeah, it was spooky.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
All right, so
Speaking of
I don't know.
Hollow Man.
I don't know what we want to do. I don't know what we want to do for this one because we'll review it and rate it at the end. I suppose. I don't. Do we
we
have
mess
like a
around?
separate angle for this movie? Like,
What are you asking if it works on separate levels?
I don't know if
there-
it is it a Hall of Fame movie. Is it? Are we going to
It,
compare it to other Thanksgiving? Because there aren't any other Thanksgiving.
It's the best Thanksgiving.
May I
like-
say, if this movie is not unanimously voted Hall of Fame, I'll lose faith in humanity.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
But we're not going to talk about it.
The other thing I was thinking about was like as a road trip movie. Is this the iconic
It's one of them.
road trip?
No,
travel movie.
Muppets. The Muppet movie.
Obviously.
I'd say there's a pantheon. It's hard to pick one.
Yeah. This is a good movie.
We'll get into it. Let's get into it.
This one's like the Heracles of buddy traveling movies. Who's the Zeus? Who's the Demeter? I don't know which if I'm mixing up Greek and Roman.
Well, let's.
What are we doing?
You forget that I am sick and my brain is not working right.
All right, let's talk. So, John Hughes movie. It's a pretty simple concept. He's trying to get home from New York.
Yes,
New York to Chicago. Steve Martin, and he ends up in like middle of America for a long
Kansas
period
City,
of time.
right?
Yeah, Wichita. And along the way, his traveling companion is John Candy, and they get derailed because of flights being canceled and stuff like that.
Everything that can go wrong does.
Yep, and so it's just that's pretty much the premise, right? There isn't a whole lot. Shower curtain.
Yeah, it's very
shower
simple
curtain
premise
rings
that,
play a major part.
Apparently, this is based on what happened to John Hughes in terms of like
Really?
it being delayed. I don't think he meant John Candy, but I think
This is
he was.
But something like John
'cause
Candy.
Every movie, John Hughes movie, always takes place
John
in
Taffy,
Chicago.
right? Yeah.
Like
Or
even the house,
near Chicago.
Even the house at the end.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the same block as the Home Alone house.
Yeah. They all
It
look
looks like
same.
the Home Alone house.
Yeah.
Kevin!
I was getting whiffs of because Christmas Vacation's John Hughes, right?
No.
No.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's
It's not
wrong.
John
You're
Hughes.
stupid.
I
You're
am stupid.
Dumb. Get out of here.
No, but if you want real stupid, I didn't know this movie was John Hughes until I was much older. So, in retrospect, I should have known
Well, why should you have known? Just
because he has such a distinctive style.
It is.
All of his movies have the same. Dare I say that?
Ferris Bueller. So it was. Yeah, he did do Christmas Vacation. I was right.
Yeah, all of his movies have that certain je ne sais
He
quoi.
did.
Yeah. Hey,
Christmas
that's
Vacation?
another sell for Christmas Vacation next
No,
month.
I don't want to see that.
We're definitely.
I want to put Santa Claus the movie on there first.
So important.
But
Or
I
it
think
saves Christmas.
I think you were right though, Aaron, because Ben, you were talking about this on the way over. Because you rewatched the end, which
Yeah.
I think is very John
Only
Hughesian.
watched the end.
He did. That's
Yeah.
This whole conversation is like a 3-minute
Like,
sequence.
I was like, oh, well, I can watch the end.
was really short.
But it made me
It was like
cry.
6 minutes.
But it was very
Flew
emotional.
by.
Very emotional. I didn't know that John Candy had a mustache.
John Candy's mustache for the Oscar.
Well, I think it's the
I
whole
have to
thing.
like myself.
The whole thing with John Hughes is that I feel it very often ties back to like very grounded family stuff.
The heart, Osborne, the heart.
May I say that blew out my ear?
I'm sorry. I forgot you. Mine are,
Oh,
yeah.
really popular.
Sorry.
John Hughes is a very character-focused director.
Yeah, and
is.
even in like the goofy slapstick stuff, for one, you have very clear motivations that are very kind of heartwarming, but they also have nuance to them. They're not just cartoon characters, and then it doesn't just stay there. Like there's kind of like a continuum at the very end, to the point of view, this scene you're talking about. There's like this added element that was there the whole time that
Right.
brings everything together. That
Yeah.
John Candy's wife
Laid all the
died.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
about
then he
that,
meets and it's a perfect Thanksgiving movie too, because everything ties together to
it does.
what you think about with Thanksgiving.
When I was younger, I did not care for this movie. Did you know that?
No, I did.
When I
Well,
was
I read
younger-
it on your blog.
Well,
I didn't say
it was my
late
GeoCities webpage.
you do have that
I've
tattoo.
had a lot of sleepless nights, Aaron, thinking about
I am only saying that added element of tying everything together and having the deep character stuff, I really didn't care for it when I was younger, and I thought it was kind of, oh, this is really sappy. But I have grown to love it.
good.
like a leper.
Because this does have more like emotional stuff than most of his movies, I would say.
It does, and they try to do it with the Home Alone with the old man and the bird lady in Home Alone 2, but this one, and also the deeper meaning. No, it's just like
I mean, it's not like
It's not super.
it's not
deep.
like a deep in terms of like metaphors and all, but it has
it's,
like
it's deep in terms of character.
yeah, it's not
It's deep.
just
Well, that's deep to me. Like there's a bigger message here. You mean of like just
the bigger
being
message.
kinder, being kinder to somebody.
Yeah.
not knowing what everybody's going through. Like just I think John Hughes captures the human condition, even like through the comedy. Of
Comedy is the human
but
condition.
the relationships with it. It's just that's why you love it. Like even the John Candy is amazing because he makes a
Yeah,
cameo in
he's
Home Alone,
really good.
And when even that scene in Home Alone when he's talking to the mom,
Sheboygan.
yeah, like this the little moments. He adds an element of heart and realism to it that
Because he's the real article.
that brings.
Like what I did there.
yeah, well done.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself the claps that time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't go so far into like he's just so terrible, not terrible, but he's not a cartoon. And then at the end, they pull the rug out. He's kind of the whole time very much likable, even though he has a lot of disgusting qualities, or he's very annoying.
Well, he's supposed to represent that one friend that everybody has, that where they annoy you to no end, but you can't help but love them.
Yeah. I happen to like myself. I'm not going to change for nobody.
you want to hurt me?
And then they pull out their shotgun.
Well, here we go ahead.
With this, like, if you have that,
My wife loves me too.
She's dead. Did you know that?
8 years. Watch the end.
That's what I got from the end.
Yeah.
Marie's been dead for 8 years.
But beyond that, there's good casting. Like that's such a good
Excellent
combo,
casting.
with both of them, and it's such a good.
you get the like neuroticism of Steve Martin, and he's so like impatient.
Yeah.
like even just the setup for his character is this high. It's like a magazine or
I forget it.
like
It's,
a
no,
high,
it's
I've only seen the end.
it's ad. He was doing ad designs, ad layout.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
right.
Yeah. So they set it up very much like he's this rat race, got to go get home, but he wants to get home to his family, so he's not
Yeah,
a caricature. And,
They very
yeah.
clearly portray it that it's a paycheck for him.
Yeah.
because he's itching to get out of there.
Yeah. That one guy, was it at the elevator? He was like, "You're not going to make." What happened at the start? There was his coworker.
I believe his coworker's name was John.
I don't remember.
But
There was
yeah,
a
he
funny
tells
scene
him
at the
he's never
start.
going to make it.
And he made like a really funny face or something.
Yeah, and
whatever.
I have a secret theory for this movie is that all the events in this movie were perpetrated by his coworker John behind the scenes. Did not want him to make it to Chicago.
That's
That's why you should live in Sheboygan.
I only have two things in here where I put a critique X next to it.
Oh, you shut your mouth.
The first was the
John Candy's mustache.
Yeah.
Simultaneously the best and worst element.
I did think the taxi thing was kind of dumb.
The taxi?
At
You
the
didn't
start.
like that taxi?
The sequence at the start.
But I do like
Oh,
this.
that.
I do like when they do the taxi when he's in the airport.
Later,
When he's looking at he notices John Candy over there. And he's like, "Who is it?" And like, then it cuts.
Oh,
to,
right.
It cuts to the taxi
Right back,
door.
yeah.
And like in the airport, like that. And instead of doing like a flashback,
Yeah.
that was really funny and like
really
interesting.
clever. Yeah.
Like you
It's
can
that
see
sort
what's
of thing-
going on
Good
through
filmmaking.
his
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
It's that,
You know.
it's that sort of thing that most directors will not think of.
No,
No.
but
Keep
it's
it simple.
But it was funny and it was really good. You
Yeah.
know, it was just like the time to take to cut out a taxi door, and put it right there.
Yeah.
Which in 87, believe me, that
Yeah.
took more than a half
Look,
hour.
it took them 2 days to go 100 miles.
That's a union job.
We had to go to a junk shop and find the right taxi door.
That's right. It would take Wes Anderson like 4 years to find the right door for that.
Yeah, it's like that shot is not exactly centered.
None of these doors are symmetrical.
Yeah,
It's impossible.
Can we get some more lattice work here?
Is it
can we get a
purple?
wider shot?
Can we
and
get
make
me?
it flat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, I thought the taxi.
Get Johnny Depp in here.
So the taxi scene at the start, didn't really impact the flight part of it at all. Like,
No.
I would have
It
liked
just
more
set
that he
up.
would have missed it. Like, because that really, the rest of the movie is literally everything that could go wrong in a given situation is going to find a way to go wrong, where that didn't really feed into the next thing.
It did go wrong though. The flight was canceled.
It was canceled, but that had nothing to do with him being late.
Yeah, because
No.
he wasn't late.
But it had their interaction.
See,
It set up the
Yeah,
interaction.
I'm nitpicking a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're
Yeah.
nitpicking in the wrong direction because none of the problems in this movie are really a direct result of their incompetence. At least they're never late for anything.
Yeah, well, I get it. I mean, and also part of this too is like they're trying to capture all of the, like, just like Christmas Vacation, all of the struggles of traveling. They're trying to like check off all the things
Well-
people can relate to, and like being late for the flight. Like this was that.
Right.
all
that
the
thing.
things, well, also all the things beyond your, like the most frustrating thing is that all the things beyond your control that go wrong.
Because if
Like
it's
today,
your fault, you can't get mad.
like
Right.
today at work, I had
There you
trouble
go.
with my computer for no reason, and it wasn't my fault, and it's just frustrating.
It got
you
a
know?
virus.
You know, and it makes you more angry. You know,
Angry.
angry. I said angly.
It made me much more angry.
That was that Chris Farley
no.
Colombian coffee crystals commercial on SNL. Nobody remembers that?
No,
Okay.
No, I don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I should correct myself. There are plenty of problems that arise from their incompetence in this movie. I just mean they were never late for anything. So,
No.
Yeah.
carry on.
So the other thing I was going to bring up was when they get to. I actually felt like the first quarter of the movie
Worst movie ever.
didn't match the pacing and the awesomeness of the rest of the movie. It was when they get to the hotel at the start.
Yep.
And everything before they go to sleep
It's pretty normal.
was kind of just like, okay, I kind of am following along. There wasn't any of those like iconic, really great parts. And so at the start of that, Steve Martin goes on this long speech to him about how his
know,
stories
yeah.
suck.
Yeah.
And like, you got to be more interesting. But I didn't feel like they had set that up enough yet for him to justify this like tirade
They
again.
gave
like,
us enough
You're
to
so
extrapolate,
boring.
though.
But it's interesting that they get.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It's interesting they set up with this tension right off the beginning.
Yeah, that happened really
Yeah, it
early.
was very
Yeah.
That speech felt like an Act 3 speech.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
a late Act 2.
Yeah. But it sets it up in a different way of storytelling. Of
They even brought
he
the
really has,
synthesizers
he really
in.
has disdain for John Candy. What's John Candy's character's name in this?
Dell.
Dell.
Yep.
For Dell.
Del Griffith.
You're getting a Dell.
Yeah. Wow.
And that sets
Wow,
up.
that joke under O for, oh my God, that's old.
That is very old. The counter to this though is that it set up that good scene by John Candy. The little like, you want to hurt me? Fine,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And
And, that contextualizes the rest of it.
It
so
connects, yeah, and it brings the humanity in it.
yeah, which
I feel like we need to spoof that scene someday.
we did. Family Guy did that.
They
well,
did.
Well, we'll probably do it a tiny bit better
Family
than
Guy also did the devil in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Which was amazing.
I had the fondest
That was
memory
so
when I was a
funny.
little kid. My mom loved this movie, and like a lot of times back in early '90s when they when they replayed movies on TV, they edited a lot of that stuff out.
They edited out Satan.
Didn't
No,
we find
no,
out
no.
that your mom edited stuff?
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost was a ghost all along. I didn't know how he became a ghost. He was just a ghost. I thought he was a ghost the whole time.
Frankly, it's a better movie because of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, she made a good directorial call.
it was. But because I didn't realize this movie until later was rated R.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
the F bomb.
Yeah,
like
but that's it though.
that really would
yeah.
be. Yeah, but they went for it.
It's not necessarily the F bomb. It's the fact that they say it like 25
Like
times in
in-
the span of a
in
minute.
1 minute.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Plus, it matters the context of the use of the word, as I've heard over the years.
It's so stupid. That should have been rated R.
I mean,
What? Shouldn't have been rated R. Is that what you just
it
said?
shouldn't have
Okay,
been.
yeah. Yeah.
Frankly, I thought that
It's the softest rated R I've ever seen this movie.
Yeah. Can we talk about that scene? I felt like that was the least funny scene in the movie.
It wasn't supposed to be, I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be funny.
I think it's supposed to just set up his character a little bit more too.
I just mean it wasn't funny. Like
Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
just saying the F word a bunch of times is not funny.
Yeah, it's like Bob Saget
He's only funny when he's saying, "Oh, Michelle."
or
I kid.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
I'm doing the tiny boy, the kid voice that he does.
Oh, mommy!
Does nobody remember that voice?
What pulled that?
I remember that
What
voice.
pulled? Yeah.
I'm a walking cat. Look at I talk like this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Sorry, Matt.
What pulled that, that scene together was I thought the airline attendant,
You mean Grace?
Grace, yeah, from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
And in the back you hear Rooney being like, "Grace!"
Like he does. John Hughes does use a lot of his
Yeah.
actors over and over again.
That was really good.
Can I say my favorite bit with that actress ever is where she keeps pulling the pencils out of her hair?
You have the funny part where, like, I don't remember what scene he is, but the old guy who was in Home Alone, the first one, like when what's her name is trying to, or Kevin's mom's trying to sell a ring or earrings to go back to Paris. She goes, "Oh, she's got plenty of rings, dangly ones." It's a good story, wasn't it?
Did that story have a point? Was it interesting?
I do have a question though about kind of with earrings. Was he selling the
Yes.
the shower curtains as knockoff, like authentic celebrity earrings?
Yeah,
Yes,
so
he's
that
right.
story about him being honest and the real deal was complete horse crap.
Okay. that was
Horse
what?
hockey.
It was very surprising. It was
Well,
like,
is
what is it? Wait, did he say those are Madonnas? What?
Yes. He lied through his teeth and
Yeah.
mustache.
What's interesting about his character is that they make him not a perfect character. They make him, like you said, like he's annoying.
And gross too.
And gross,
Like, he
but
takes
like-
off his socks.
He's not perfect,
Yeah.
Of all
but
infractions, that's not bad.
you really care about him, and you care about Steve Martin's character. You kind of sympathize with him too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's just a touch of gray.
It's like two sides of a coin at the same time.
It's about the
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, and John Candy also has just a fun and funny kind of cadence to how he's paying $6 in my right nut says we aren't landed in Chicago.
Well,
Like,
no, that line wasn't
play
even
pick-
funny. What
play
was
pick
funny?
up sticks with your butt cheeks.
What was funny is that his
little
face was right in
phrases.
Steve Martin's and he was asleep and he just opens his eyes. That was creepy and funny.
Yeah, and then he just says that. Yeah. Just after, immediately upon waking up.
But the acting with John Candy is so good.
Yeah.
In every
really
movie
good.
he's in.
Everything he is
Even
so
in Wagons
good.
East.
Yeah.
You know that movie? It stinks.
Yeah.
It was his last movie.
Yeah. He's so good.
And then he just has this charisma too, like when they're in the bus. The Office references too. And they're trying to sing a song and Steve Martin starts
Yeah.
singing and no one knows it. They all just like, yeah, and this is another great John Hughes thing where they all look at him and then they all look back, like, because they don't,
Yeah.
they're not following. And then he just starts singing the Flintstones. Like the most,
Where are the things?
why would that be the thing that comes up?
I forgot about that. That's so funny.
John Hughes, one of the great Americana directors. Is that the term to use?
They say he was a fast writer.
A fast
He wrote-
writer?
I think he wrote
Like in speed or
Like-
just he nails it without edits.
Well,
and
he
vision?
edits, but he gets that speed and edits.
So you're saying
Like he was very prolific. You know, they said it took him like 6 days to write scripts sometimes.
so
which
on a
is insane.
scale of George R.R. Martin to Stephen King, where is he?
I think in screenplay, he's probably a Stephen King.
All right, that's cool. I like those guys because they tend to be prolific and more creative because they can just boom, boom, boom.
They say this particular movie was 175 pages, which is extra long. For
That's a long
anything.
movie.
Yeah.
And they said
well, it's
there's-
packed with dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
And
lot of that.
They said they shot almost everything.
Yeah.
They said the original cut was like I don't know how many hours, but they got it down to 2 hours, and I think that was too long. But like, I would
too
love.
long?
I
I
would.
thought this movie was too long.
No, I'm saying
No,
like. They,
187 pages would be a roughly 3 hour movie.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
so I want to see the stuff they cut out. I'm sure there's some funny stuff.
I mean, in this trailer, there's a scene where Dell's like singing. There he is, right there. That's not in the movie.
no.
That is, as far as I can recall.
No,
I
I don't
watched it
remember that
yesterday.
either.
Didn't see it.
This is just a funny line.
I watched the whole movie, by the way. Matt, do I get extra points?
You do
Okay.
if you watch more than 3 minutes.
Okay.
There was that scene where they're at one point they're hitchhiking on the back of that truck in the cold.
Yeah.
It's just so like matter of fact. Like,
It's bad enough, and then they add
What do
the
you
dog
thi-
in the mix.
what? Yeah. And then what do you think what do you think the temperature is? 1. End scene. That was it. And
He had a black eye towards
did.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as the truck pulls up,
I think
he
that's
has like a black eye.
I
Like a
think that's the
missing scene.
continuity. Yeah. That-
missing scene.
Although I think it also could have been explained by there was at some point I was like, oh, are they doing it as like a visual gag that he made somebody mad off screen?
Yeah.
Like, I think at one point it was like he
did-
went to go do
he-
something and got hit in the face.
He did say like this guy's rather funny about the front seat or something.
Right,
like that.
yeah,
Like,
then he got
maybe-
punched.
maybe he
Yeah,
got
yeah,
punched in his-
that's what that was it.
It's
yeah.
contextual. It's
He's a
not
little-
explicit. It's implicit. Is that right? I can't even think right now.
Here's another one where I don't think the initial setup really worked. This was when Steve Martin had gone back for the rental car that they didn't have for him, and it was right after the F-bomb tirade.
He lost his hat.
and he gets punched in he gets in a fight with
Yeah.
the like shuttle guy, I guess, and he gets punched in the face.
He got shuttlecocked.
And then that's when Dell shows up again randomly,
What are you doing?
and then the guy grabs his dick and pulls him forward, which was just like kind of what? Why would anybody do that? But then the payoff of that is amazing because for the next
really
scene in
wish
the
you would
car,
have.
yeah, his voice is so high.
That's the same voice that he does in
So
Three Amigos.
funny.
Yeah.
They do the same voice in Three Amigos after they drink tequila. And then Steve Martin's like,
It's probably watered down.
yeah. He's like,
That was the sound of tools chests falling down the stairs.
there you go.
yeah.
Matt didn't get it.
I wasn't folling. No, I
You
don't.
haven't
I don't,
seen Home Alone?
I don't.
You don't have it committed to memory?
I don't have it.
Are we reviewing that movie this year?
No, I don't think so. I have them both on Blu-ray. Mostly.
The other part of that sequence was they're talking about in the car because Dell picks him up and they start driving with the rental car that he got using Steve Martin's credit card, right? Which is also pretty funny.
It's terrible.
Yeah, they set up the card switch early in the movie, and they almost forget about it.
Yeah.
The old switcheroo.
But that they were like, must be swell to be, because he was trying to take off his shoes and socks again in the car. I need to be comfortable. And Steve Martin's like, don't do it. And he goes, well, John Candy's like, well, it must be swell to be perfect and odor free. That's
Such a simple line.
That's also the like ball handling sequence. It's like you do more ball handling
want a
than Larry Bird.
If you want a left field scene, that's the one.
So good.
You play with your balls a lot.
So that.
You play with your balls a lot.
See, that's the like when you tell me the script was that long, it's like all the jokes are packed in and and they always come up
Every scene is
pretty
so dense.
organically. Yeah.
Well, I wonder how much was ad lib too.
I don't know. Because I would imagine both of these actors are at least practiced in it,
Yeah.
especially Steve Martin.
But a good comedic movie always has a really strong foundation in the script.
Well, the structure of this is such that what are all the horrible things that can happen to you when you're traveling, whether it's
could
in
die.
a plane or whatever, we're going to do them all.
The two semi-trucks.
Yeah.
You're,
going the wrong way.
I don't know which is
Must be
funnier.
drunk.
Like, how do they know where we're going?
I can't decide which is funnier. Is it funnier
like
to
how? Yeah, like, when they come-
Matt and Ben, I have a question. Was it funnier to cut to the skeleton for a split second or to have the laughing John Candy in a devil
The
outfit?
John Candy for me, for sure. Because he stares right at him.
Right?
But the skeleton, it's there for like 6 frames.
Yeah, it was
It's
really
so
quick.
funny.
Yeah.
They're both pretty.
They're both good.
It's great.
Well, you know, he did that in Home Alone too, and Marv gets
Yep.
electrocuted, and like
Yep.
he's like, the skeleton. Like just it
Marv
but-
had a raw deal in that movie,
But it
man.
still didn't take you out of the reality of the movie.
No, no, no. It all works.
Slapstick.
Yeah.
I mean, in a movie where you can get hit in the face with a paint can.
He's in a devil outfit with the beat.
For like 2 seconds, yeah.
I remember watching that for the first time as a little kid, that sequence, laughing so hard. Everybody in the whole room and my whole family was laughing so hard. It was so funny.
Did you drink too much Pepsi later and get the top bunk?
I did. And
Okay.
the rubber sheets were packed. That's why I just stick to Fresca now.
That whole car sequence, the whole car sequence with the semi going the wrong way when he
Seat
gets
messing
and
around.
he gets like stuck.
Doing a mess around.
And this is also after he just does that like long dance too in the
doing
car.
a mess around.
And then
That's so funny.
yeah, it was amazing.
But the best part is like the
He's
filmmaker.
like, okay.
The filmmaker like
He's driving with his feet.
The cut to the like have him flicking out the thing in the back seat. And he's like. Like
It's hot in here.
It's hot in there, like, and, like
Yeah.
but that was so like comedic genius of like that's up there with the best comedic sequences ever.
Yeah.
Like, just like the
And then he
it's Pink
spins out
Panther.
so
It's
bad.
very Pink Panther.
He almost hit a deer.
Yeah.
The thing about that, he throws that cigarette butt back there, and the movie forgets about it for a while,
Right.
and
They let it simmer.
they don't cut back to it, and then the car just catches on fire. No close up of the ignition or anything.
And they look at it and they're like, "Yep,
Yep.
this is what would happen."
And then he punched him right in the gut. It's like it was a weird.
One could say it
And
was
that-
deserved.
But then you also think at that point, I thought, "Oh, they're just gonna walk for a while."
No, they
that
kept driving
suitcase?
it.
They drive the freaking car. It's all scorched up.
Yeah, it's really
Boy, we caught that just in time.
You know what, officer? Our speedometer is.
has melted off.
But you know what? The radio works clear as a bell.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Something like that. How about that?
This is when they also go, "We got a rocket." He just immediately flies back into the car, back into the building. He puts it in reverse.
Go, go, go,
We
go,
got
go.
a rocket. And you think they're just gonna push it? He just
Well, I mean, they
Go,
paid
go, go, go.
they paid cash, so if there was ever a time to bolt, that was it.
that was it.
And the
yeah.
Rolex.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have $17 in a watch?
Was
I'm sorry, it was a hell of a night.
Was that?
And then
was
he
that,
does the little display on his arm.
Yeah.
He's trying to show it off. And it's his stupid
John
cheap
Candy
watch.
is so
So
And he not only
like,
does it, he does it slightly awkward.
yeah. Because he's got that big bulky coat on.
and the mustache.
It's like, oh.
Was that? I don't remember that scene. Like who the actor was, but wasn't that the
That was the lawyer from Jurassic
lawyer from
Park.
Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
As the
forget his name.
attendant at the
De Niro?
motel. Oh, yeah.
I think it was too.
Well, it was Chuck McGill was the cop that pulled him over.
Yeah.
Who's Chuck McGill?
He's
From Better Call Saul. Was
Was he in
I can't
SNL
remember
as
his name.
well?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's in all of the Christopher Guest movies.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I think they're all like Chicago based.
A Mighty Wind.
Yeah.
Best in Show.
But that was amazing. That was an amazing sequence too when they get pulled over in that car. And how did they semi sit? Oh, that's when they sit in the back of the semi to
Yep.
get to where they need to go.
Yeah.
With all the cheese.
That was cheese.
Yeah.
Sheboygan.
Yeah.
Sheboygan. The cheese that's hard to get.
But then, so this entire journey gets to the very end, and then they just hit you in the.
Hit you in the heart.
Hit
Pull
you
you
in the
heart-
feels.
Pull you in the heart with the heartstrings.
Right. And he's just sitting there all by himself in that.
Like picking up the guitar.
And it's the best part because he's relieved when he gets in there. He's like, "Oh, I'm finally, kind of." We had a good moment, but I'm still kind of relieved that I'm finally making it to my family. And and he's thinking about good filmmaking. He's thinking about
Like what you would be thinking.
Yeah,
I can't believe I just did
my
all that. Yeah.
family's coming. I can't wait. And the way his thought would go, very smart. Like
he
how
bounces over the
and then it's like his wife kisses him, then John Candy kisses him, and like he remembers all the stuff, and then all of a sudden he remembers like
the stuff he was saying.
the stuff he was saying. It's like I haven't been home for years. You
No,
know,
hold on, let me get some reverb on that. I haven't been home in years. Okay, I'm done. You won't hear it, but it'll be on the recording.
Good one, Aaron. Really funny.
very good.
I am so good at my job.
You forgot to turn it off. Off.
Did not. Did I? No, I turned it off.
Okay, good.
That would have been really funny if we heard that afterwards.
Sorry, I'm too good at my job.
hey.
I didn't mess up.
That's delay, not reverb.
Reverb.
Shut up.
Well, they did a good job with the his entire memories is, but like again, the pace, the whole structure to the whole screenwriting thing we were talking about was he tries to just cut ties with him like 2 or 3 times, and then
like a
he
boil.
actually tries to keep him closer at the very end because he feels sorry for him when he's sleeping out in the car.
But let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that sequence at the end where you have the above shot of him leaving the station, you know,
right,
from John Candy, and he comes back, and they cut back to that above shot of the train coming back. There's another train that came back, and he gets out, and as soon as it cuts, like after you put it together, you as the audience puts it together, you see him alone. You see him just sitting there, and it's so precious.
Yeah.
That's the scene that gets you. Like he just sits there and like he just
by himself.
He just sits there and looks at it and acknowledges him. It's just so it's like that's John Candy. That's like, that scene is like wow.
It reflects just not again. It's not just that scene. It's the accumulation of the whole, everything up to that point.
It's like To Kill a Mockingbird with me.
boom.
Towards the end of To Kill a Mockingbird, like everything that comes together right there. Accumulation of that one character. You know what I mean? Right there. It's just so powerful.
I've always been confused about his state of not being at home. Like when Marie died, did he just pack it up and go on the road, or do you think there was something else involved?
Well, that's the thing.
Sounds like it. Yeah,
That's the thing.
Sounds like he's just a traveling salesman.
But that's the beauty is we don't have to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the beauty about filmmaking. I think when you have to spoon feed everything to everybody, you know.
No, I think they should have explained it. I need more context.
Okay, here, come here.
No.
Did you just pull a spoon out of your ass? Where did that come from?
I had it in my pocket today because I was using it for something,
What?
and I realized I had it in my pocket in that
Ben
moment.
has a spoon.
I have a spoon. Spoon.
What is happening?
I forgot I had this in my
my
pocket,
God.
and I
Okay.
as it was spoon towards me, I got this in my pocket.
Ben,
Yeah, like, let me give it to
Pocket
you.
Man is spoon edition.
yeah.
But like this wasn't.
And then $1 million fell from the sky. Ben, pull it out. Oh,
Tonight on the Spark of Madness, you won't believe what happens.
That was $1 million.
What
Shit.
happened? No, you just took me back to an episode of Friends where Rachel spills cheesecake on the ground. Joey walks up,
Oh, right.
pulls
Yeah,
a fork out of his
that's a
jacket and
great
says, "All right,
scene.
what do we eat?"
No questions asked.
No, but as I said when we spoon feed it to you, I was like, okay, I remember.
It's pretty good. Wow.
That was random.
To go from here.
It's the one time I put a spoon in my pocket.
The one time
because I had coffee in the morning. I
Okay.
didn't want to waste a spoon.
Usually I just carry a spatula with me. Today I went with the spoon.
I had a spork last week.
Everybody has a spatula.
You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna get a piece of clip art.
Well, I wanted to. So the other sequence that I thought was really good writing was, and then how it ties into the very end with how well they shot when he comes home and just the look Steve Martin gives his wife. It has this like newfound like appreciation for his wife. There's that scene earlier where they're like to the wives. They do that thing, and where John Candy during that
Was like
love doesn't even isn't too small of a word, right? And he and he just sells it so well in his performance, and it just lands so perfectly in this like little moment where they still kind of hate each other, but they can bond over that. And then
There we go.
there's a spoon on the screen now.
There's a spoon.
As we talk about like the most emotional like
No, you keep
core of
going.
the-
Don't let me stop you. Keep going.
But yeah, so then how that ties together to
Here comes the airplane.
What an emotional movie.
Keep going. Don't let me stop you.
Sorry.
yeah, the very end though was good. It was well shot. It has
was.
like an extra weight to it.
No.
And also the shot of John Candy looking at Steve Martin's wife.
I know the one.
Knowing that connection.
Hello, Mrs. Whatever.
No.
But it's a reminder of his love for Marie, right? His wife.
You know what face?
It's beautiful.
The face that sold it for me, and it helps you get that retrospect later when you realize that Marie is dead, is when they're talking about their wives and John Candy's looking at him like, you know the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It's the face of deep thoughts.
What a great actor. Both of them are great actors.
They're both very good.
But John Candy just pulls at your heartstrings. He'd probably be in person like someone you really would like, really kind person. Mm-hmm. He emotes that.
You want him at your party.
Yeah.
He'd spike the punch, but not too much.
Just the right amount.
Yeah.
All right. Anything we haven't talked about yet?
I
We haven't
don't think so.
I think I went through everything in mine.
I think this is a must see.
I think
Especially on
we've beaten that
Thanksgiving.
horse as much as we could.
We're doing the mess around.
I don't have a whip sound. God, I need to get one. Thank you.
There you go.
I have a. That'll do. Yeah.
Play trains, automobiles, baby.
I'm going.
Ben has a spoon. It's okay. That was so worth it.
All right. So out of 10, what would you give it?
I give it a 10.
Really?
10. Wow.
Because I don't really see a problem with it. I really don't.
Yeah, it's hard to criticize
Yeah.
seriously.
I was coming into this going to say an 8. I think I'm going to give it a 9.
No?
I'm definitely going to give
Okay.
it a 9. Yeah, because I'm thinking back about all the stuff that they did. Really, I think the first 15, 20 minutes were my biggest problems, but it sets things
But
up.
such a minuscule problem.
You have to set it up there. So,
I think
yeah.
because it,
I'd go 9.
I think movies that do that to me emotionally make me get emotional like that. Yeah, and go up there. If they can really move me, like that.
Okay.
And make me laugh like crazy because it's so funny.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Well, as the one with the true rating scale, I will give this movie. Well, no. In my rating scale, realness comes before feelness. Okay? Objectivity.
We need to have that as like a splash card. Realness over feelness.
Copyright 2018.
That's like if Ben Shapiro was a movie reviewer. Facts over feelings.
Yeah.
Does Bill O'Reilly still have the no spin zone? Can I use that now?
Yeah, let's put it in the no spin zone. You just
Tonight in the no spin zone, I
cut-
give.
you cut out all of us, and all of a sudden you're on a TV set.
Got the little crawl at the
We'll do
bottom.
it live.
Now, in my effort to have a no spin zone, I will say that this movie is an 8 out of 10 on the absolute scale.
Okay. What holds it? I guess what are the things that in your mind are? Because I feel like we've talked about mostly positives.
Yeah, there's very few negatives to a movie, but just because a movie is all positive does not elevate it to 10 status.
Sure. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's just
Yeah.
like it's solid,
That's
but
a
it's
good-
not.
It's ridiculously
Yeah.
solid. An 8 out of 10 is an amazing rating on my scale, okay?
Yeah, it is.
10 out of 10 is
That is.
unachievable.
that is for you.
Godfather's like 9 something.
I agree. The 10 out of a 10 is just for the heart.
Right.
Is it up there?
An
with-
emotional enjoyment rating, I will absolutely
love the
accept a
movie.
10 out
I
of
think
10.
it's great.
But I think it's important to define your terms when rating a movie.
Well, so for this, the thing I would give it that puts it at the 9. Will you quit chewing on that? It's
People can hear that.
coming through the mic. The thing for me though is that if I'm thinking about a travel movie like this, this has to be always in the conveation
I agree
because
with
it
you.
covers everything.
At every point will
Yeah.
this movie be relevant
Because
to
it,
that.
it hits all of the like not just for the time frame, but it's like these are the problems you go through with your traveling companion, the things
it
that go
will never
wrong.
change.
And those are,
there's another older movie like
timelessness
that
to
that they remade with Steve Martin called The Out of Towners. That's kind of
Right.
similar, but the original is funnier. With,
This movie is timeless because even as travel changes, the same problems will always arise.
right.
John
and
Candy
the
will
same
always try to sell
and
you
the same motivations will always be there. Like
Yes.
I want to get home. Like
I
that's
want to switch
you know,
credit cards.
Would you count? There's always like a traveling theme. in
Shower
some of his
curtain
movies.
ring
The
salesman.
traveling and getting home, like in Home Alone, is the same thing with the other storyline.
Well, they're both holiday movies, so
Yeah.
you take that as you will.
Yeah.
Is this a Hall of Fame movie?
Yeah. That's what I was about to ask. This is close. I'm gonna say yes.
Ben?
It's close though. Even though I gave it a higher rating than Gremlins. Gremlins is like the baseline for me. For like,
Okay.
that's the bar.
Yeah, I say yes.
Okay. I will also vote it into Hall of Fame, and I hope this button that I push will be the Hall of Fame button.
Yeah. Hey, great segue for next week.
I planned this in advance.
Synergy. Yeah, me in the background.
So next week is Rockies.
Yeah,
Rocky retrospective.
Yeah, so next week we're gonna do. I don't know what
I had the movie on DVD.
I don't know what the format is, but we're gonna talk about Rocky, whether it's all of them, whatever it's gonna be. We're
All
gonna
of
do
them, none of them, whatever
It's
you
gonna
want.
be like the preparation for Creed 2, which comes out the following week. Mm-hmm. That weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend. So, in advance of preparing for eating a crap ton of food on Thanksgiving, we're gonna talk about Rocky.
We're doing it next Wednesday, correct?
That's right,
greatest
Wednesday.
next
holiday.
next
Yeah.
Thursday is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, take a break.
Wednesday,
You just
we're doing
watch
next Wednesday. Like that's a fun time to go out. I'm gonna be stuck with a podcast with you.
Yeah,
Can we do it early and then go out?
You could do the podcast yourself.
you can.
I mean, like, could we do it?
Why don't you just quit the show and never come back?
One, all right, show's over, right?
Then it's just
Tune in
me and-
next week to see if we're serious.
Then the show's just me and Matt, and they're like, "Well, what did you think of it?" I thought it was pretty good.
I miss Ben.
I have a sadness inside.
You have any Fresca?
It is shaped like Ben and cans of Fresca and
We're
spoons.
just like solemnly raise our plastic spoons.
Yeah,
I light my spoon on fire.
spoon.
It represents my heart.
All right. This is a ridiculous episode. All right, until next week. Hey, Thanksgiving.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.